Hello and welcome to another edition of Biz Headlines on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Stella J. Jones-Sudley. Now, victims of the infamous men's gold scam has been assured by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Godfred Dame, that they will be served with justice in due time. According to him, the scam has resulted in the loss of lives, investments, and to an extent, broken homes and marriages. Speaking during the Cambridge International Symposium on Economic Crime, the Attorney General noted that although there was greed and negligence on the part of some victims, government will ensure they are served with justice. I quote, "The greed and ignorance of thousands of otherwise hardworking Ghanaians was the oxygen for the operations of the company. As we often witness in the case of many Ponzi schemes across the world, people paid their life savings to the suspects in the case, resulting in losses worth millions of dollars and in some cases, loss of lives." End quote. In more news, government was able to surpass its treasury bill target in its latest auction last Friday. According to the results, the target was oversubscribed by 462.83 million. Interest rates are currently hovering between 27.36 to 31.65%. The government surpassed the target of 3.064 billion to raise 3.53 billion as interest rates continue to surge. However, the continuous increase in the interest rate will make maturities expensive for the government to fulfill. In more news, an International Monetary Fund staff team is scheduled to visit Ghana from September 25 through to the first week of October to evaluate the country's economic recovery program. The visit marks the second review by the IMF since the release of the first tranche of the 3 billion loan facility. The Finance Minister, Nkommo Wo Ho, made this known at the third GIPC CEO's breakfast meeting.
We've got to be ready for the mission that comes at the end of September, so that we can try and get a staff level agreement while the mission is here, and then go to the board in November for the release of the second tranche, which will be $600 million. In addition to that, certain things we also need to do with the World Bank so that we can get our DPO, which will be another $300 million. So I believe that we're on course to maybe get $1 billion by year end to support the Bank of Ghana's balance of payments issues.
The Finance Minister, Nkommo Wo Ho, says the government is working assiduously to meet all the conditions set by the IMF to be able to receive the second tranche of the 3 billion loan in November this year. According to him, the government is working assiduously within its means to be able to receive the loan and meet all the conditions set by the International Monetary Fund.
I believe by year end we should be able to get through both the OCC of the Paris Club and also a long way in the Eurobond negotiation. You've seen in the past week we've completed the domestic debt restructuring, which we started because we've done the cocoa bills, we've also done the domestic dollar bonds, and then we've also been able to come to an agreement with the pension funds. So these are difficult, but one has to be calm about it, persevere.
In other news, the government is reportedly considering plans which will see the Agricultural Development Bank taking over the operations of the National Investment Bank. According to reports, the decision is on the back of moves to restructure the state-owned NIB, which has been faced with an array of challenges in the last few years as government can no longer continue to advance financing support to the bank. The report added that people with knowledge of the proposed takeover hinted that although government is considering other options, the decision to allow ADB to take over NIB is the likeliest priority option at the moment. Cocoa farmers are demanding a farm gate price of 1,380 Ghana cedis for a 62.5 kg bag of cocoa beans, a 72.5% increment in the current price of 800 Ghana cedis. As Cocoa Board gets ready to announce new prices for the upcoming 2023-2024 cocoa season in the coming days, a group known as the Ghana Civil Society Cocoa Platform, at a press conference in Accra, argued that the 72.5 increase will help stop the problem of cocoa smuggling along the country's western and eastern borders and cushion farmers against rising cost of living and inflation. And that's how we wrap up Biz Headlines this week. For more news stories, do log on to our website at www.GhanaWeb.com. Also follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the GhanaWeb. Follow us on YouTube, GhanaWeb TV. My name is Stella J. Jomsodli. Do have a lovely weekend.